Hey, I just wanted to go over number 29 on the homework. I don't see this in the book per se, so wanted to go over this problem with you. This gives a function y equals k of x, and it gives us the graph. First question asked for the domain. So to me, everywhere there's black lines are in the domain. These are the x values. So that would be from negative infinity, but then it stops here at -6 because of this red asymptote. And then it starts again at -6 and goes to positive infinity. So over here, I'm going to go negative infinity, comma, -6 with an open parenthesis. And then I have a second interval. So I can use the capital U, or I come over here to interval notation. There's my union symbol in my little menu here. And then it starts up again. Oh, shoot, I want to get rid of this parenthesis there. Then it starts up again at -6. So I guess I can use these parentheses here, -6, and goes to, there's my positive infinity. So I want that to be inside there. There we go. That's the domain. So everything except x equals -6. What is the range? It looks like it goes all the way down to negative infinity, and then it goes all the way up to positive infinity. So that's everything from negative infinity, comma, positive infinity. And I don't know why that's not just going inside there, but that's a drag. Okay. What are the x-intercepts? So this is where it's crossing the x-axis, and it wants it in coordinate form as ordered pairs. So it's an x and a y coordinate. Where is it crossing the x-axis? Here at -4, so parenthesis, -4, and y is 0. And then it says, separate these points as with commas. So the next one is at -2 and 0 right here. And then over here at 2, 0. And they're looking for points there. The zeros are the values at which the function is 0. So it's the same place in the graph, but now it just wants me to list the x values, -4, -2, and 2. K of 0 is the height it gets to when x is 0, and that's a height of 4 right there. The y-intercept, if they wanted it, would be the point 0, 4. K of -7, so x is -7, y is also 4. 4. Is k of 3 positive or negative or 0? So k of 3, 1, 2, 3 is down here, it's negative. How many times does the line y equals 2 intersect the graph? So y equals -2, excuse me. So let's see, y equals -2 is down here. So as I come across here horizontally, it touches the graph right there, and it touches the graph right there. So it touches the graph twice. For what values of x does k of x equal -5? Separate multiple values with commas as needed. So you want the y value to be -5. It doesn't never touches the graph over here. It touches the graph here when x is 3, right there. Give the intervals of x such that k of x is positive. Use union symbol between most intervals. So the function is positive, and this part of the graph is all positive. So that's when x goes from negative infinity, from left to right, from negative infinity to -6. We're not going to include the -6 because it never touches there. And then another interval is going to start at -6 and go over till it gets here to -4. But I want it to be strictly positive, so I don't want to include the -4. Same thing here, it starts getting positive again at 2, but I don't want to include 2 because that's where it equals 0. And then it's positive over here from -2 up until we get to 2. So it looks like it's 3 intervals. Let me zoom in a little bit here so you can see this better. 3 intervals from negative infinity to -6. And then I need a union symbol. I think I can use a capital U, but since I have a symbol there, let's just use it. And then it's from -6 to -2. I figured out why it was going outside the interval. It's once I type the comma, it puts me to the next spot. And then from -2 to 2. So 3 intervals. I'll go back up here to show you again. Negative infinity to -6, it's positive. From -6, oh, to -4. I messed that one up. not -2 here, -4. And then from -2 to 2 again. Where is it above the x-axis? Okay, and then the last one is where is it below the x-axis? Where is k of x less than 0? And again, I don't want to include where it equals 0. So it's less than 0 between here and here. So x goes from -4 to -2. And then again from 2 when x is from 2 to infinity. Again, that's 2 intervals from -4 to -2. I don't need a space. It's going to put me over there by myself. And then union, the U symbol from, I forget, so I'll scroll back up. Going to be less than 0, so from 2 to infinity. Again, don't include the 2. That's the open parenthesis, 2 to infinity, because I don't want it to equal 0. I want it to be less than 0. Okay, so there's that problem. Let me see, zoom out if you need to pause the video and you can look at the whole graph. Maybe take a screenshot, and then you can zoom in if you need to get a better picture of these things. Let's submit it and see what happens. Hopefully they're right. It better be. Okay, hope that helps. I also just want to quickly point out some navigation stuff. When you go back to the class, if you scroll down below the calendar, here's the chapter 1 content. If you open that up, there's the chapter 1 exercises, which is all the review stuff, R1 through R4. Sometimes I tell you what section it's in, sometimes I don't because it's not in a particular section. And then down below that are the sections in the book. So you can go through the book here with this link. Let me open it in a new tab. That will take me to section 1.1 of the book, which highlights, I can open this up and see what's in there. That's our online book. And then also, if you scroll down a little further, there's videos on functional notation, evaluating a function, evaluating a graph, evaluate a function using its graph. So I'm guessing that this third video covers exactly what we just went through, and evaluating function using a table. Hopefully that helps. And then again, that's 1.1, and there's 1.2. It's a little tough in the review because these things don't directly correlate with what we're doing, but right now we've covered 1.1 and 1.2 essentially. I have not yet covered this transformation of graphs, which is the 7th video here. Okay, hope that helps. Stop the video here.